Okay, welcome back. This is our module on blogging. And before I get into this, I have got to give a big, monster, huge warning about blogging. This can be something that could severely distract you from doing revenue generating activities and revenue producing activities. Now, blogging is a long-term strategy. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying don't get so focused on blogging that you're not doing the things that generate revenue and actually build a team. Now, this is not something that's going to have you generating a ton of leads overnight. Now, at this point, I generate leads almost every single day from my website at mattmorris.com, but I have been blogging consistently, giving away free content and free video training for well over 5 years. 5+ years to get to the point where it generates leads every day. Now, the first year, 2 years, even 3 years was not generating a lot of leads. And I'll give you another, just a warning and something that's very true. You'll want to write this down and use this in your network marketing career. And it's this. People typically want to enroll others the way in which they were enrolled. And so if you're enrolling people through your blog, then they typically are going to want to set up their own blog. And the learning curve behind it and the time that it takes is just so long, it's really hard to get any kind of massive duplication. And so I have enrolled a bunch of people through my blog that has worked for me, but I'll tell you, my biggest teams are not the teams that I've enrolled the person from my blog. In fact, I would say this, it does create a very quality lead. Someone, I've got a very high closing rate of someone who becomes a lead on my blog, but the duplication rate is not nearly as high. Why? Because people want to enroll others the way in which they were enrolled. And so, they typically want to do the internet marketing thing. And so my biggest teams come from people that I've known for years, people that I've met at events, people that, I've met at Starbucks, things like that. If I were to lose everything and have to start from scratch, I would not spend any time at all setting up a blog. I would go out on the streets. I'd start meeting people. I'd go to networking groups. I'd go to seminars. I'd meet people. I'd enroll them. I'd get into their warm market. I'd taproot. I'd build leaders. I'd do all the things. So blogging should be something that if you do this, spend maybe 5% of your time at most with the blogging. Again, it's a long-term strategy. It is great to build some authority for yourself. The attraction marketing piece, it's good. Sometimes people will feel like, well, if you have a website and a blog, you might be a stronger leader, just the perception of that. And so just want to give that warning initially. Now, in setting up your blog, there are a lot of different ways that you can set up a blog. You can go to WordPress.com. My site, mattmorris.com, is hosted on WordPress. You can go to WordPress.com. You can read about it. You could Google just blog setup or set up a blog, and you can find some resources anywhere from a free blog to thousands and thousands of dollars that you can spend on your blog. Now, I'm going to give you some resources that I've used some of these resources, and they've been a huge help to me in different projects that I've done. Number one is Elance, Elance. The other is odesk.com. So elance.com and odesk.com. A couple others, 99designs.com. It's 99designs.com. There's one other that you can look at. I haven't used them for a website, but I have used them for some graphics and transcription and some other things. It's Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Now, what these are, it's basically communities where providers or designers will post themselves up that they're available for hire. And what you can do is you can go on there and you can post a job, and then other people can essentially bid on the job that you posted. You can say, I want to spend this amount of money, and you'll have anywhere from a few people to maybe a few dozen people bidding on your project, and you can get some incredible deals. The key on this, be very specific about what you want. I mean, I went on anytime I use one of these sites, I mean, if I'm doing design work, I'm going to draw out, here's where I want the picture, here's where I want the tabs, this is where I want the opt-in box. I mean, just draw it all out, leave nothing to chance. Now, I'm not going to give you a ton of ideas, but model some other sites. You could go to mattmorris.com. You can go to other people, maybe in your company if they have their own blog or site set up, and just see what they're doing. See what other successful people are doing. I am big on the concept of modeling. I believe why invent the average when you can copy genius. In fact, that's one of the chapters of my book, The Unemployed Millionaire. And so a couple key things, though. You definitely need a picture or pictures of yourself. That creates a bond. If people see your picture, then obviously there's some trust there, some credibility. You want to have an opt-in box so they can subscribe to your newsletter. You can go to companies like getresponse.com or aweber.com, and you can use that to collect the leads that come in. Again, if you're using Elance or Odesk or something like that, a lot of times the designer or the programmer, they can work with you on how to integrate and how to set all that up. I am not technically inclined whatsoever. I have no idea how to do any of that technically. I've always just found other people to do it for me and hired them. The other thing is if your goal is to generate prospects for your network marketing business, rather than just have your name and email address or just your email address to subscribe to your newsletter so people can get your blog posts, you can set up a special page that's specific for generating a lead for your network marketing company. So, on my website, I have a video. It requires them to put in their name, their phone number, where they're from. I even make them tell me about themselves. If they want me to call them back, they're going to have to say something about themselves. And so make sure you have those components on the website. And I could complicate the art of blogging. And listen, there's no shortage of training online on how to blog. You can confuse yourself thoroughly, just like I did when I first started getting into it. I bought books on blogging. I got courses. I bought courses. I hired someone to coach me on it. And there is so many things that they will tell you to do. You end up getting overwhelmed. And so I'm just going to give you a handful of things. Now, we generate close to 1,000 people a day on my website just from SEO traffic, get a ton of visitors. I've figured it out. And here's what I figured out. There's only a few keys that you need to worry about. Number one, this is probably the most important thing. If you want traffic from Google, you're going to have to be consistent. Consistency is key. And so don't even listen to this training unless you are committed, and you will stay dedicated to blogging at least 2 to 3 times per week. Don't even bother setting up a blog. And I'm talking about 2 to 3 times per week consistently for several years, year after year. It's got to be something you're committed to doing forever. And that's what I've committed to doing. I record 2 to 3 videos a week. I blog at least 3 times a week, and I'm committed for life. I'm just doing 3 blogs per week. I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I typically don't do more than that. I never do less than that, at least 3 times a week, and I just do it forever. And see, here's my attitude about network marketing. I am a network marketer for life. I'm going to be doing this the next 20, 30 years. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint for me. So if you're looking at this and you're brand new and you're thinking, oh, I need to generate thousands of leads now, don't even bother setting up a blog. You got to look at this. If you're brand new to network marketing, maybe you've been in it for years. If you're a professional, you got to have the mindset that you're still going to be with your company. You're still going to be in network marketing 10, 20 years from now. And so if it takes you a few years in order to get to the point where you're generating consistent leads every single day, if it takes you 5 years, hey, no problem. And so it's kind of like me. It took me almost 6 years to get full-time in network marketing. It took me 6 years to figure it out. Am I glad I stuck it out for the 6 years? Absolutely. And so here's kind of what I went through. When I first, started getting serious about blogging, I was going to write every single day, and I was going to write blog posts, and I would optimize the heck out of them. I'd use keyword tools. I mean, I was wanting to do it perfect, and I'd do it every day because I listened to, some bloggers. I, got some home study course, and they said, spend 15 minutes a day and 5 days a week or 7 days a week, and you're going to have this flood of traffic. And I believed it. And so I could not do a blog in 15 minutes. I couldn't write a blog post in 15 minutes. It'd take me an hour or two because I'd want to make sure it was optimized and all that. And so I burned myself out. I went from doing 4 or 5 a week to almost none a week. And here's what I finally decided to do. For me, I am a writer, but it takes me a while to write. What's easy for me is to record a quick video. I've got so much knowledge on network marketing in my head that I can pop open even my iPhone. Sometimes I just pull out my iPhone, I record a quick video, and that's something I can easily do. A 2 to 3 minute video, I can do that 2-3 times a week. I went to video because video is easier for me. Some people don't like to be on video. They feel uncomfortable with it. I'll tell you this as a side note, I did feel uncomfortable with it. Just like anything, if you haven't done it a whole lot, you're probably going to feel uncomfortable. The more you do it, the more you get out of your comfort zone and the more comfortable you become. So even if I love video. We do video, and then I have someone essentially transcribe or kind of write a little bit of an outline based on what I said in the video. That way we have the video and we have the text for SEO purposes. And the key is you've got to get to the point where you can do 2 to 3 a week consistently without burning yourself out and without spending a ton of time. Now, here's another key. Is blog about what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about personal development, and I'm passionate about network marketing. That's something that I can talk about, I can train on all the time. And most of my videos, if you see my website, most of them are specific to network marketing. I've chosen to be really niched into network marketing. And I think it is very important to be niched. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one particular area. And that violates most marketing principles. You actually want to be niched, because if you're positioning yourself as a jack of all trades, master of none, and you write about gardening one day and personal development one day and travel the next day and then health and nutrition the next day, people look for websites that they can go deep in one particular subject, in one particular niche. And so stick with one. Personal development and network marketing, they really go hand in hand. They go together. And so it's okay to kind of combine those two. But don't try to write about a whole bunch of different things. Pick one specific topic. Maybe it's sales training, or maybe it's just nutrition. Maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's getting fit, having six-pack abs, building muscle, stay niched. And what happens is people will join your newsletter, and you want to get to the point where when someone gets an email from you about a new blog post, they can't wait to read it because it's about a subject that they're passionate about. And if they see that you're passionate about, it's kind of like your kindred spirits. They're going to like you, and they're going to want to be in your community on your blog. And so that is a really good piece of advice for you. Here's another thing that I used to really stress myself out about is, are people searching for it? And I'll tell you, I went through a period of time where I would only blog about things that I knew people were searching on. And here's another big key. Don't target individual words, target phrases. So let's say you're blogging on sales. If you try and, be relevant for the word sales, you're going to be on the 50th page of Google. I mean, there's just so much competition with millions and millions of websites out there. Go for phrases. So, instead of trying to optimize a blog post for sales, you could put sales tips for network marketers. Sales tips for network marketers. Now, that's a longer keyword phrase. A lot less people are searching on it, but there's going to be a lot less competition, and you're much more likely to be ranked on the first first or second page of Google. And so what happened with me is every time I did a blog post, I would figure out what keyword or keyword phrase I wanted to optimize. I'd use the keyword. There's a Google AdWords keyword planner. It's free. As long as you have an AdSense account, you can just type in Google, put AdWords keyword planner. Google AdWords Keyword Planner. And what that allows you to do is you can type in a keyword phrase and you can see how many people are searching for that phrase. And I did that on every post. And I know I used to probably optimize my posts a little bit better, but what happened is I would stress myself out because I'd spend so much time trying to optimize every post. It was just painful for me, and it took time away from my revenue producing activities in my network marketing business. And so I'll tell you my strategy now. When I do a blog post, I don't look to see if people are searching for it. I just, whatever comes to mind, if I feel like it can add value to the people on my list, I'm going to blog about it. I'm going to record a video on it. And that is the key. The main key is to be relevant and to add value to your subscribers, to the people that you're wanting to target. If you can add value to them, then you're going to get traffic. And what I have come to is what I would much rather do on my website now is I'd rather have content that's so good people share it with their friends, and that's how I get traffic. I'd rather get traffic that way than try to optimize it for what people are searching on in Google. For me, that's just easy. That's what works. Now, if you are just dead set and you want to know, well, how can I optimize the post to get traffic from Google or the other search engines? Here's a couple that I've used that I know work. SEO Pressor. You can go SEO Pressor, PRESSOR.com. SEOpressor.com. There's another one. I think it comes directly into with the WordPress platform. It's the all-in-one SEO pack. It may be a plugin that you've got to download. I have never downloaded a plugin myself. I've always had someone from Elance or a programmer do that for me. There's another one that we have moved to. It's WordPress SEO by Yoast. I don't know that it works any better than the other, but it's super simple. And what the tools allow you to do is it will tell you, you need to have a picture. You need to have an alt tag to the picture. You need to have whatever your keyword phrase, you need to have that in your headline, your H1 tag. It helps if you have it in the H2 tag. It helps if you use the keyword phrase in the first sentence of the blog post, in the last sentence of the blog post. If there's, underline, if there's highlighting, and what those plugins do is they tell you exactly how to optimize your post. And I'm telling you, they do work. I have definitely seen on the posts that when I was really focusing on getting traffic from Google, they definitely work. Again, it got stressed out for me. I get a lot more traffic now than I did in the past because I'm putting up content that people really like and they're sharing with others. Now, here's another key for you. Don't try to find what people are searching for and then write about it. Find out what you want to write about and then see if people are searching for it. And this is a good strategy that one of my coaches told me is if you're struggling on what to write about, go pull out a personal development book or pull out a sales book, pull out a network marketing book, pull out a health and fitness book, and just find something in the book that is interesting to you that you can write about. Now, obviously, do not copy word for word, but find something and make it your own. If it's a tip on closing, read a book on closing, figure out a strategy there, and then create a video on it or write a blog post about it. And again, don't get hung up with needing to write about things that a ton of people are searching for. If there are 100,000 people a month searching for a particular phrase, chances are that's a very competitive phrase. A lot of the traffic that we're getting traffic to on my website, there might only be a few hundred or maybe 1,000 people a month searching for that phrase, but because it's not competitive, I rank on the first page of Google and we end up getting a lot of traffic from it. And so Here's what I want for you. I want you to blog. I think it's a great thing to do. If you are willing to be consistent with it, if you're willing to not have it take away from revenue producing activities, it is great to build your brand. It is a long-term strategy. It definitely gives you a lot of authority. And if you read my video report, the authority report, there is definitely a lot of power in becoming an authority. If you haven't read my authority report, you definitely want to find that. I talk about the ultimate authority. One thing that really catapulted a lot of my results is when I became an author. When I became an author, what's interesting is the way people look at you is just different. People immediately think of you as a leader. You have immediate credibility. You have that immediate authority, that immediate expert status when you become an author. And so check out our authority report. In fact, I don't know if when you're watching this, we may not have any slots available, but you can always go to mattmorris.com and there's a Become an Author link on there. If our project is open, you could definitely apply to become an author in a book with myself. I have helped well over 100 people become authors, many of them best-selling authors, and it's provided a ton of value for a lot of people. So hope you've gotten a ton of value out of this blogging module. Looking forward to seeing your blog. If you create one, make sure you reach out to me and send me a link to your website. I'd love to see what you've done. Thanks for tuning in. Go make life an adventure.